Escoffier, the Sanji of Genshin, the Gordon Ramsay of Genshin Impact, where it seems hopefully she doesn't have his temper. Now she's looking up to be a potentially very good cryo buffer, or in this case more like a shredder. Now obviously her kit is not official yet, so many can be expected to change, but if it stays the same, many of you will be wondering if she'll be a character that you should be pulling for at this point, and of course we'll be going through that in this video. Marissa and Ian-san is basically going to be on the first phase, which many of us are excited. So if you're planning to swipe for pulling, then don't forget to check out Loot Bar. If you know me, I've been recommending you guys Loot Bar before, since you can always save almost a 23% on all of your top-ups, with over 100,000 orders and so many good reviews at this point. And by the way, this also applies to PS5 and Xbox user who can place orders through Loot Bar. You can be sure that Loot Bar is trustworthy. Here you can see my order receipts of all of my top-ups that I have done. So guys, be sure to check out Loot Bar through the link in my description, as it can be a great way for you to save your money, especially if you are topping up a large amount. Now, I've already discussed the kit in depth in this specific video, so if you haven't already, be sure to check the video out. But basically from what we can see, Escoffier has the power to shred hydro and cryo resistant up to a 55% if your team's comprised of only hydro and cryo characters. Though she's not stuck in those teams, because she can still be used in a melt teams, but just in exchange for a lower resistant shred. That's the biggest difference to other character we have in the game right now. However, she delivers more to the table, and that's the ability to heal your whole team pretty decently, as well as currently with the scaling that she has, it is expected that she can also do very high off-field numbers as well, which should her value up to be rather high. Escoffier is most likely going to be giving cryo teams a pretty big increase, but you know what else I'd like to have a big increase? That's going to be our subscriber on the channel, as 90% of our viewers are still not subscribed. So I'd really appreciate it if you smash the subscribe button. It's a free way to support the channel, but means a lot to me, and you will also not miss out on our amazing video in the future. So that being the overall of her skill and kit, to put it simply, we can see that she will most likely be working in either a freeze team and mono cryo team, if that's what you want. For a 55% hydro, cryo resistant shred is definitely nothing to be laughing at, as most of the character in the game doesn't have anything close to this number even with their constellation, let alone within their C0 kit. I suppose it's something that Hoyoverse is doing to try and get cryo back in the game, which is something I actually appreciate, since cryo has been forgotten for, I would say, like at least 2 years at this point in time, and especially freeze comp, where the reactions are nice as it freezes your enemies in place. It doesn't have access to any multiplier, which leaves it as one of the worst reactions in the game thus far in terms of damaging competition. So hopefully with Escoffier coming in, and if her kit stays the same, there will be new light shining on those who love to play with cryo comps like myself, and rather just opening up more viable teams in the game so we can play around with. Alright, so for freeze or cryo comp specifically, we mainly only have 3 DPS characters, which are Ayaka, Ganyu, and Ryosley. As I've discussed it in previous video, the moment Escoffier is released, mono cryo comp will still not be too recommended, therefore it's mostly going to be freeze comp. Yet Ryosley is a character, though can still work in freeze, it's still better off that he is played in melt. If you want him to be in freeze still, then yeah, Escoffier can still help him pretty fine, but mainly freeze will be for Ayaka and Ganyu, where they dislike enemies that move around a lot, and it's more of a question of, do you like playing Ayaka and Ganyu enough to be pulling for Escoffier to enhance their team currently? Now, other than that, Escoffier does shred hydro, so hydro character can get benefit, and at this point in time, it's most likely going to be characters such as Farina, Novelet, Yeline, Xingqiu, those characters mostly, and it's kind of nice that hydro character can get a nice buff too, and we'll be looking more into team comps in the future team comps videos. That being said, Escoffier release will also affect any future cryo release as well, and at this point in time, the character we can likely think about is going to be Skirk, because Hoyo released a very weird cryo artifact set this patch, but basically there's no character that can make use of it right now. So the only reason we can think of would be this is for Skirk most likely. So if Skirk is cryo, That's great, more cryo character in the line. Especially with how strong Skirk is in the story lore, we can expect her to be a very good character as well. If Skirk uses this artifact, she will likely be either cryo sub DPS or she'll be like a 6 or 7 second on-field cryo DPS like Mavuika or Raiden Shogun, then play off-field damage for the other part of the artifact buff. Though from the look of it, most likely Escoffier will be able to buff Skirk, which is really nice as well. But in the case of Skirk does happen to be a sub DPS character, we're still going to be pretty much stuck with a Ayaka Ganyu DPS comp, while characters like Skirk, Escoffier, and Shenhe will be fighting for their places in the team. That being said, when Snash Naya comes, there'll be more cryo DPS character. Escoffier will definitely be more valuable then, but that's still a long way to go, and we still don't even know when there's another cryo character DPS coming soon, and we don't really know if they work in freeze, just like how Emily is amazing with Burning Team, but there aren't too many characters that works well in the Burning Team currently, so she's quite obsolete. Therefore, Escoffier is good, but you need to consider if you'd like her in the team. Just like those of you who'd pulled for Shenhe before needed to wait a very long time until she's kinda relevant again. Escoffier at this point will only mostly for Ayaka and Ganyu, mostly potentially for Nuvlet for a freeze team comp as well, but for Melt we already have Citlali, so it may be hard for Escoffier to be used there, which in the most case should still be a preference character for those of you who like using freeze comp, just like you pulling for Emily if you like playing Burning Team. If you're pulling for her now so that you can make future cryo characters better like Skirk, we still don't know what Skirk kit will be, or there's no idea when another cryo character will come. Will there be a cryo DPS or sub DPS character that work with Escoffier, or will they have kits similar to Citlali where she's a cryo character that shines in a team that is not cryo? We don't know just yet. Therefore, unless you like Ayaka and Ganyu currently, it is best to wait a bit after Escoffier is released so we can hear more information on Skirk at least. Then you can make a better decision if you are on the fence. But if you like Escoffier and is already decided to pull for her anyway, I really wish you good luck, though it is still a bit of a time before her official information is released, so let's wait a bit more still. So I think that's all I have to say regarding Escoffier advice on whether or not for her to pull at this point in time. Again, it is still more of a pre-release information, so we'll have more Escoffier discussion video down the line. Again, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on our future Genshin Impact video. I really appreciate you guys staying with me till this part of the video, guys, and with that I wish you a super day, and I'll catch you on my next video.